Folks, let me tell you, we have got one hell of a show tonight. Coming up later on, make some noise for the incredible Emily Peters. Yes, so good. A bit later on as well, we've got the phenomenal Mandeep Singh. The crew's in tonight. Love you, Mandy. A good friend of the night, we've got tonight's headliner, the man himself, Mr. James Rubin. You know what's up. There it is. But first, champions, kicking things off in style, we have got, oh, please give him the warmest of welcomes, the wonderful Phoenix Clark!
Look, it helps, all right?
Wow, thanks, thank you. Now, shut up! Now, I'm going to start things off with a terrible joke. It's not good. And I promised my manager I wouldn't open with it, but here we are. So, let's just get through this together, and then we can enjoy the rest of the evening, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, my name's Felix Clark. I'm 6'2", and I'm bisexual. These are my most distinctive features, by and large. No, I warned you. I did warn you. You've got it bad. I need a new manager. I don't have a manager.
That joke really can go either way. I tried opening with it at Fringe last year, and the room went deadly silent, and some Scottish bloke from the back shouted, "Pun faggot!" I mean, where'd you go from there?
So, yeah, I'm a bisexual. Oh. Yeah, or as my mum likes to call it, could be worse. I can actually pinpoint the exact moment that I realised I was bi. And most people have very sweet, empowering stories about how they first came to discover their sexual identity. I do not. No, my eye-opening, introspective revelation came during the first 10 minutes of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yeah. When I realised that I could be with both Emma Stone or Andrew Garfield, in any order, sexually, and be pretty fucking thrilled about it. Yeah, it was amazing, this beautiful revelation. Eclipsed entirely by the fact I then had to sit and watch The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Most people went home after that movie. They forgot all about that film. That's the relationship most people have with The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Not me, nope. No, my brain is now hardwired to associate my sexual identity with Sony's second attempt at a decent fucking Spider-Man film. I can't even look at the bisexual flag now without getting flashbacks to Jamie Foxx with a comb over. It's my birthday, and now it's time for me to light my candles. You don't remember that line? No? You're not supposed to remember that line. Nobody remembers that line. But it's, it's part of who I am. It's part of my sexual identity. So, respect my process.
I actually came out on stage before I came out to my parents. I don't know if that's healthy, but it was certainly a lot easier. See, the thing about coming out as bi is you kind of have to do it both ways. Like with Jake, my ex. I didn't tell him until after we'd hooked up. I mean, to be fair, he probably just assumed I was gay and I didn't say anything because I was worried about what he might think, which is so stupid, because why should it matter? But he was very attractive, and I didn't want to mess things up. Anyway, eventually I did tell him, and he wasn't a dick about it or anything, but I guess after so long he was a little bit surprised. You've been with a girl before? How does that work?
Now, one thing I've never really understood is people who get weirdly defensive over the ratio required to be classed as a bisexual. Like if your penile to vaginal intake isn't, exactly 1-to-1. You don't count. Like, I love the idea that there's some kind of quota that you have to hit each month, or they take your membership away. Excuse me, sir. Now, before I renew your license, I'm going to need you to touch at least one more penis. We're closing in 5.
I don't know if my dating history is the most accurate reflection of what I'm into, necessarily. You know, like ratio-wise. I've definitely dated more women, but I mean, even here, even in London, even in fucking metropolitan, elitist, lefty bubble London, you know, I'm so conscious about, like, how people might react. So suddenly you're choosing between a relationship where even just holding hands is seen as, like, a statement, or you go with what's easier.
When people talk about discovering their sexuality, it's often framed as this kind of exciting, sexy journey. You know, it's all about experimenting and uncovering your innermost fantasies, but what nobody tells you is that once you've found them, it's actually quite boring. I was definitely led to believe there was going to be more, like, kinky threesomes on the table. You know, or on a table, God bless. But yeah, it turns out that being bi just means getting rejected twice as much. No, but seriously. Before I wrap up, there's one last thing I wanted to address, and that's stereotypes. One of the hardest things about being bi are the stereotypes. And by that, I don't mean the fact that there are stereotypes. I mean the fact that they couldn't come up with any good bad stereotypes. You know, greedy. Greedy's the one. I never understand greedy. I mean, who's being greedy? You know? I'm not hoarding people. They're allowed to leave. Greedy. Greedy. Do you know who is greedy? The writers of The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Because you can't expect to establish 3 completely separate antagonists in the space of 142 minutes and expect the narrative to be anything other than unfocused and thematically void. Yeah, so that's how I realised I was bi. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't usually focus on bisexuality this much, or Spider-Man, because there's this cliche in stand-up, and I guess any art, where if you're a woman, or you're Asian, or gay, it's all you talk about. And for a long time, I didn't want to fall into that. I was worried people wouldn't see past it. But I don't know. Maybe we've just gotten so used to dudes in their 40s doing it that anything else feels like an exception. Jake always encouraged me to write material about being bi. Said it might help someone somewhere, but I never did. I guess on some level I just wanted to blend in. But it is a huge part of who I am. And I think I have things I want to say about it. Things I want to talk about. Things I shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to talk about. So I guess this is me, talking about it. Sorry, mate.